the Michigan man, Jake Moody, to get us started.
And we are underway in the final game of a busy Sunday.
And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback.
On play action, it's Mahomes. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. 17 yards on the game's opening play and a quick first down.
You look at this Super Bowl, the second appearance for this head coach. The first one did not go as planned, as we all know, but what do you think he's learned from that first go-around?
He learned how much it hurts to lose, and that's what you hear from coaches so often. They don't remember the wins as much as they remember the losses. You can talk about the media, the scrutiny, the hoopla, but once you've had to shake a head coach's hand and jog off the field and know you have to face the media, face your fans, face your home life, knowing that you've lost the Super Bowl, that hurts big time, and you're going to do everything possible to try to prevent that from happening again.
Now the ball comes loose. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. Not only a fumble loss there, but a fumble lost on your first drive in your own territory.
Now you're dealing with a lot of stuff here because you feel bad going off the field because you gave up the football. How does your own defense feel now having to go out there and stop them when the momentum is clearly shifted in their favor?
They'll come out throwing here on first down.
Oh, no, his first throw of his Super Bowl is intercepted. He's still on his feet.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, this defense, they've been terrific all year, and they come through with a pick six here on the game's biggest stage.
Perfect descriptor there because we have seen this time and time again. This defense, their ability to take the ball away from teams, they definitely have a nose for the football, and it pays off again on that play.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Again, it's Guerrero.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
On play action, they'll throw. Try to lay one up deep. Oh, a leap, and he will make the catch. And this will set them up nicely deep down in KC territory. A big 3rd down play there for the Niners. 55 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Back to throw here. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
A give running left now, Guerrero.
Shreds the tackle. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. They'll try the middle with Guerrero.
And I don't think he got there, no.
He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. They'll try and run for it. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. It'll be a pickup of 4. And the 49ers are set up now with a 1st and goal. So 1st and goal and a chance to make amends for the earlier pick 6. Here's Guerendo, and he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Isaac Guerendo taking it in from a yard out, and the Niners are an extra point away from tying up this Super Bowl. Moody good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles, but they've got it. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner.
Partner, I think this will want to ride very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Here's Guerendo on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Another try for Guerendo. And he'll be brought down at about the 42.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Back to throw. Fletcher. That's complete to Pearsall. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. On 4th down, Fletcher able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. 1st down on a pickup of 11.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
On 3rd down, it's Guerendo. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Here we go on 4th down. And he will have the 1st down before he's tackled at the 12. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. And
And we are back and ready to go for the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis, as always, thrilled to be with you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year, Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter two. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 4, it's 2nd and a couple. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Punching it in from a yard away. And the 49ers have now taken the lead. Moody good with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. But for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked up by Caleb Farley.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Pass caught by Pearsall. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run. 37 yards.
Well, he worked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He has such a handful defensively. Just too hard to keep him under wraps, and delivers a big play here for this offense.
Yeah, not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
But a spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the second score there. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And they'll run again. And across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Isaac Guerrero. His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the 49ers continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Moody good with the extra point, and it's now 21-7. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A run by Pacheco on second down. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. That is caught. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. His second catch in the Super Bowl, and it's good enough for a first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll roll him out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. 2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. They'll try for the first with Pacheco. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 53 yards rushing for him now in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Here's Mahomes to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Bates' kick is good, and that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no win, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Off play action. Fletcher. And that nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Now remember, he had a pick earlier, but couldn't reel that one in.
And with apologies to Dylan Thomas, apparently they're not going to go gently into the half. They're still out there firing haymakers. They took a chance on a deep ball there, but it winds up incomplete.
The incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Off the play fake. Fletcher. He's going to try and go deep again. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, 49ers. A big play there. 75 yards. And the 49ers are feeling good as they extend their lead in this Super Bowl.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
The extra point try now for Moody. And the lead is up to 18 now. So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the 49ers are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl. Moody good with the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Brought down on the play by the linebacker, Christian Harris.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. This time they stay on the ground. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl.
And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground.
And he's going to have a Niners first down as the tackle made at the 35-yard line.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They go play action here on first down. He's going to let this one go deep.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a toss here, short side. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
But this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting them to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Trap 60.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he's got his big wide receiver complete.
And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
50 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Handoff here, Guerrero down to about the 37.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
On second down, a run with Guerrero. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 15 for the Niners there and a first down.
Well, they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot. He picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
And it'll be intercepted.
And the Chiefs are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
There he goes left side.
And he will finally be shoved out of bounds down at the 30-yard line.
A big play there on the catch and run. And even 50 yards. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga.
Wow, so wipe out the INT roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10.
Pacheco gets it up the gut.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Again, it's Pacheco.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long distance.
And in for the Chiefs touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Chiefs take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Now the extra point. And oh, it's wide right. No good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense. Gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
Here comes 3rd and about a foot.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process. One quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And there's just 1 quarter that remains in this edition of the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, as we get set for the 4th quarter. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 53 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great play there. 41 yards. And the Niners are starting to pour it on the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. Moody good with the extra point, and that will bump the lead up to 26. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And their Super Bowl hopes are dwindling here in the 4th. That AFC crown from 2 weeks ago starting to seem like a distant memory. And this one just has not gone as they had hoped. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. Mahomes now to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held a team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job. Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Christian Harris. And into the end zone, a pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense, and certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score. Partner hoping they're holding a nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rip of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap 1. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive, 1st and 10. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets a made. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They run it with Pacheco from the gun. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty. And so many different assignments you could have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on. To throw, it's Mahomes. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards. They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Throwing now is Mahomes. That's caught. It's Xavier Worthy. And he's going to be knocked down hard at the end of that one.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. The throw over the middle, taken in. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another first down.
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
Just need a yard here, 2nd and 1.
Now here's Mahomes. That's pulled in by Brooks. His first catch of this Super Bowl, and it'll be good for a first down. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. Now Mahomes got to have this one. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play there for the Niners. 52 yards.
And this has been the story all night long. They just came out firing and have not backed off, even with the big 4th quarter lead. Here's another completion for big yardage.
This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Second and a couple.
60 Bison, 60 Bison. Panther 11, Panther 11.
He'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down. And the San Francisco 49ers will hoist the Lombardi Trophy as Super